All right. Sweet. Well.
Mr. Hamilton, need to get copyrighted on YouTube when he goes to.
Yeah, probably. So we're gonna do some. We're gonna be some Tiger Kings today. If you haven't seen that on Netflix, don't watch it. It's not. Don't do it to yourself. But if you have, this is a show, on Netflix. Some crazy people that own tigers, and they're pretty weird. So, yeah. Okay. So what we're gonna do is we're trying to be on the next Tiger King documentary. Like I want it, I need it. So I'm trying to see. My tigers, I think, would have a lot of fun bungee jumping. So what I want to do is I want them to have the most fun bungee jumping, but not die, right? Like I want them to go as close to the ground as possible and not, obviously smash their face into the ground. So if they didn't go, if they dropped and they didn't go very far, that would not be very fun. So I really want to push the edge of tiger bungee jumping. So what we're gonna do, let's see, we have 13 people right now. So what did I say? That was 5 groups of 2 and 1 group of 3. Okay, so what we're gonna do is eventually we're gonna work our way through this next little unit, which is Unit 2 in College Board. Chapter 3 stuff in a book, and for the stuff I give you, it'll say Chapter 3. And it's over linear regressions and scatter plots and residuals and a bunch of different stuff. So our end goal of this is y'all's groups that y'all are going to split up to. Y'all are going to decide how many rubber bands are you going to attach to your tiger to where you can drop him off of the catwalk and then get closest to the cafeteria floor. So we're going to drop them from the top of the crosswalk thing, and you're going to drop them down, and we're going to see how many rubber bands does it take to get all the way down to the ground.
Is that instead of doing the Barbie, because that would kind of be weird?
Yes, we're not going to be doing Barbie bungee, because you know what? I went to go get some, Barbies or action figures, and those things are like $4 a piece.
You could have gone to the dollar store. They have them at the dollar.
Well, I had gone to Walmart. I was committed to Walmart. I was committed. I wasn't about to go somewhere else for this. So the thing that was $1 was tigers. So I went for the Tiger King theme. So anytime it says Barbie, just insert tiger, because I changed it up. Okay. I didn't want to pay $4 for a Barbie. So.
Your daughters could have had them.
Well, she doesn't need them right now. She's fine with all the things that she has.
She got tigers.
Yeah.
And they're on leashes. Yeah.
No, those have COVID all over them. Can't touch those.
And you've been touching them?
Exactly. Yeah. Anyways, okay. So our goal is y'all are gonna split up into some groups, and we're gonna throw them off of the catwalk, and it's gonna be a daily grade. When are we going to do this? I wrote it on the board. Oh, I also updated the board over there. We're going to do it on the 13th of October.
That's so far away.
Which I believe is I don't know what day it is. That's a Tuesday.
So we're not doing that today?
No, we're not going to do that today. We're gonna get some basic intro data for it with these smaller things. And then we're going to do the big testing on Tuesday.
So like a physics.
Yeah, so we're actually going to go throw them off the catwalk Tuesday, October 13th. Maybe let me talk about the calendar real quick. So this is only 5 weeks in the 6 weeks. So I think there's 3 Wednesdays that I will see y'all. Like this Wednesday is one of those. And I think we're going to go through some of the tests, the past tests, and look at them. And so that means we really only have like 10 days of lessons. So it goes really, yeah, because twice a week, yep, 10. So I have one of those tests. So I have Chapter 3 test as a major grade, which is Friday the 16th. And then to get creative, to get our other major grades, We're going to do on College Board, there's these things called progress checks. And if you go to AP Classroom, it's at the bottom. Maybe I'll go there. And we're going to do the Unit 1 is one of them, Unit 2. And then we're also going to do our quizzes averaged together are their own major grade. So since there's 4, I'll probably drop the lowest one. And those progress checks that are on College Board are probably up for curving if needed.
Yeah, I thought that you can't like fly against
can't.
us.
That was last year.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Yep.
She already tried that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was last year. So this year I can do as I please with them. So, yeah. So let me look at those. So these are, I mean, I have not graded, or I have not curved one of those tests I've given you in class because the mean, the median, the like box plot, whatever, it all looks pretty good. Like it's pretty fair is what it's showing me. So if I see that, you know, the grades aren't where they really should be, then I'll curve it. But for right now, I don't see anything. So you go to AP Classroom, and there's a couple things down there at the bottom. And that means you can use notes, you can use your homeworks, you can work on these together, whichever way. So just the multiple choice, the 2 multiple choices, not the free response. So that first one is due the 9th of October, so next Friday. Next Friday is Unit 1 progress check. And then Unit 2 is not until like the end of the 6 weeks. And then the quizzes will be as we go. So we're going to do a couple lessons today. There's a homework due on Friday and a quiz. So the quizzes do kind of have an extra importance this grading period, I guess. All right. So for the Barbie bungee, or not the Barbie, because we're doing Tiger. For the Tiger bungee or whatever, we are going to do a daily grade for who gets closest to the floor, what group gets closest. So maybe, I haven't decided exactly, but definitely the first group will get like over 100, like bonus points for getting closest to the floor. If you get last place, maybe you'll get like a B or something, and then we'll go like slowly inch up between a B and like, I don't know, something like 150, maybe even a 200 on the daily grade. I don't know. Maybe I'll go crazy for the best group. But it'll just be a daily grade there, kind of an extra fun thing. But, so yeah, we got major grades, the calendar. Someone have a question?
Oh yeah, on this paper it says we can only use 7 rubber bands.
Well, so the original part of this lesson was to like see who could drop it closest from this door down. And I was like, that's not as fun. We need to go big. Or go little. So I need people to really risk it to get all the way down to the cafeteria floor. So if you hit the floor, your tiger is dead and you're in last place.
Oh.
Yes.
It really is like
So you want
It's
to
Friday, you gotta get all the way up to it.
So you want to get as close as you can to it, but you also might not want to take the risk of hitting the floor and getting dead last. What's up?
What happens if multiple people hits the floor, then who gets last?
Multiple last places, tied for 0.
And then whoever did it touch the ground, that's
They both get some sort of B.
everybody will overshoot and then like.
Yeah, so it's kind of a chess game in that, like, you want to be safe, but you don't want to be too safe, because if nobody hits the floor and you're the safest. Anyway. All right, so that is, what is it, a couple weeks? 3 weeks, no. Yeah, 2 weeks. Next Friday. Okay. So that's our little tiger bungee thing, is what we're going to do. So what we're going to do today is we're going to talk about scatter plots, explanatory response, scatter plot stuff, correlation, and we're going to gather some data about these little tigers. So I have a wonderful chart on the back wall there that goes from 0 inches all the way down to the floor about at 85 inches. That's pretty good. So what I have for us is, if I kind of come over here, so what this one's saying is the Barbie, and we don't want to smash her face, and we did 7. I am changing it around, and our little test today is going to be a little more generous with, I have 2, 4, yeah, there was 6, right? Yeah. 10, and I think 12 was our biggest.
There's no 14?
And we could say yeah, there's no 14. What's that?
Can we test 1 anyway?
I already crossed it out.
Like 1?
Yeah, like 1 rubber band.
Oh, well, I already have them tied for like certain things, yeah. Okay, so I have 0 just means like the guy, so what I have is the tigers like wrapped up there. I did it so that there should be pretty consistent, you know, knots tied or whatever. There's no crazy thing going wrong on that. So if it snaps or something or whatever, like these are tied all by me. It's not like y'all did it different than someone else. So 0 is just like the tiger hanging over the edge, just like strapped in. So basically, how long is the tiger from his feet to his head? And what did I get? I got, maybe because we're going to have to do some rounding here, technically it's 5.75. Maybe I'll just do 6 inches because there's probably no need to get a decimal involved, since that chart on the back wall is not going to have decimals. Okay, so here is the thing. Y'all are going to split into groups here soon. And what you're going to do is I'm going to give each group one of these 6 things, and y'all are going to test out. Y'all are going to go on the back wall, and y'all are going to test out, like, dropping it from 0 and dropping it straight down. How far down does it go?
Like at the stretch point?
Yeah, at the very low point. So to get that, what I did yesterday, and I did this by myself, I didn't even have someone holding the phone. I did a recording on my phone of the tiger dropping while I dropped it, and I saw where it was at that very low point stretch. Because when we drop them from the catwalk, they're going to stretch out all the way and almost hit the floor. So we need that low point every single one. So if you're not getting the low point, we're getting some bad data. So maybe let's split into our groups of 2, one group of 3. So whoever wants to be the group of 3, I guess it's whoever forms it first gets it. But split into some groups and then we'll move on from there. So give you 20 seconds to make a group. Go. You can sit with the people you can do it with. Already in our tables? Alright, perfect, easy enough. Wait, is that what we did?
No.
Tables? Okay, perfect, that's fine. So, what we're going to do is, we're going to help get some data. Y'all are going to get a feel for what's going on here. So, I'm going to hand each of y'all, and then maybe I'll demonstrate for a group dropping one. So let me hand you, y'all got the 8, and y'all get the 2, and y'all get the 4, what a throw, and the 6, oh, bad throw, bad throw. Okay.
We got the 12.
Oh, you want the 12? Okay, you get the 12, you get the 2.
Wait.
Okay, so your group has a certain number. So let me just show you real quick what this looks like.
Is it like the height that it is when it's just like hanging there? Or is it like
No, we want it when it's like all the way down as
Alright.
far as it can go. Because when you drop it from the catwalk, it's gonna stretch as far as it can go, and we don't want it to hit the floor.
Wait, let me just
Okay, so one person in the group is here. One of you is recording.
Wait.
It would probably be smart for y'all to like because if you're shooting up, you're probably gonna be like getting the too high of a number. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to like hold it at about the 0, get the person from the 0. Does that look pretty good? It looks pretty good to me. And then you just drop them. Oh, that wasn't a very good one. You probably have to do like 3 or 4. So, oh, that was a good one. And then just try it. Another good one. So hopefully someone in my group just got that recording, whenever that was. Y'all don't use that data, Megan. And then y'all would write it down. So we're gonna have to kind of shift groups around here.
Peter's not happy with
Put
you.
in super.
Peta. Okay. Where's my thing at?
They don't need to know.
Yeah, so we got Peter.
Peter doesn't need to know.
2. Okay. Sweet. So what we need is, I don't know, let's just go in order. So like the group with 2 rubber bands, y'all get your data first. And we're just gonna take, I don't know, we get like 5 minutes.
Are we gonna do like more than one like test and then like average it?
Yeah, I would do like my first toss, I could tell that it got tangled up. So I'm not gonna do that one. I'm just gonna get the absolute lowest out of all of them. Because it's all about how low it goes. Because I don't want this thing to hit. Get your hand at 0, Grim. Lower, I think.
Like the head at 0 or the
No,
butt at 0?
and your hand, his hand. Like your hand that you're,
Holding
there you
the
go.
rubber band.
Yeah. Perfect. That was beautiful.
Alright.
Wonderful. Okay, who's got 4?
I think ours
Yeah.
For sure.
100%.
We're gonna get the extra.
Alright, and then y'all get me how many, give me a rough estimate how many inches you got. Kaden, tell me how many inches you got, for like your lowest of all those.
Coach Rios is not going to know what's happening. What are they doing? Okay, the group was 6. Who's got that?
Mr. Hamilton, our tiger has a deformity.
Uh-oh. Oh, he still has his tag on?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's gonna impair our.
Oh no, y'all need some assistance? Some height assistance? Alright.
Alright, you good now? Okay. Thanks for doing surgery on the tiger. Glad he didn't kill you.
Okay, maybe one more.
Why are you're only really high?
I am?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think we should go 26.
Alright,
30.
wonderful.
30. You know what?
Let's see, he's got 8. And then if you could look at your video and tell me
We got 16 miracles.
16 inches, okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's not going to be a perfect number here because I had to make that big enough for a video.
As long as the next one is bigger than the other one.
You're in?
What?
Maybe drop it head first, Megan. There you go.
We got 26.
Did y'all get something?
Very green yellow.
Oh wow, we're looking at a very nice.
We got 45.
Oh,
Perfect.
wow.
Ready?
Yeah, I haven't. This would be interesting data for me.
Hit it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, when they so hot inside when it's cold outside because everybody dresses for cold,
Yay.
and then when they get inside, everybody's so.
It's like it's cold outside, but you're gonna make it burning inside, so it's like you gotta take off
And when
7
it's
layers
hot
of
outside, they
clothes.
make it freezing in here.
Inside.
And like, it's hot outside, so you're not gonna wear long sleeves.
It felt like purple.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it did. I wanted to go back to sleep.
Okay, Cadence, you good if you want to go back.
That's what I hate when my mom.
We're not, like, the group part, it's not too big of a dynamic until y'all are deciding, like, what should we do with it.
Because I'm not outside. Like, I'm like, I'm only outside for like 2 seconds a day.
You say March didn't go to
Alright.
Marcus and theirs? Hold on.
Reagan, did you get a number?
He's working on
Rough,
it.
okay.
It's like 60. Like, 68.
What's up?
Not 60.
Y'all get a number?
60.
I'm thinking, y'all thinking 60, okay.
Then you give me my point.
Ew, oh, I thought you were writing up your finger. I was like, ew, that's gross. I don't like that. My Spanish teacher in middle school, actually no, it's closer to the 62, I'm just kidding.
62.
What? You said 60, 51?
Yes.
And you said 62?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Darn.
Or I guess it, yeah.
I mean, you tell me.
I mean, it's on the 62.5 one, but.
Okay. Alright. Sweet. Okay. So, let me just clarify again. So what we're doing is, we're just getting that data, we're gonna use it, we're gonna make a scatter plot here. We're gonna do some different stuff with data they got on their Barbies, like hypothetical data, which we could like, say that that could be stuff we could use to guess about our tigers. And then, yeah, so I kind of didn't mean to talk about the schedule. So let me just clarify before we're moving on. So yeah, with the schedule, just let me know if y'all are confused on anything. So like the quiz averages, just understanding how that works. One of those 4 will be dropped. Those progress checks are like unit 1 you can start doing today because we just completed all of that. You can work together, you don't have to. And then we do have a test, that one test.
Are those like, you have to do them all in one sitting, or is it like you can like resume it?
Yeah, I think you can resume the progress checks. There's no timer on it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's good.
Okay, so just let me know if y'all have questions about that. I kind of didn't mean to get into that, but you know, I woke up at like 7:50 this morning on accident, so I'm still kind of like, the coffee's kicking in, so I'm doing good. Okay, so, sweet, so we're doing that. This is our initial data to give us a guess and get us a group, or your best guess at getting that tiger as far to the ground in the cafeteria as possible to win some bonus points or something. Maybe we can even do, if that's not good enough, we can do some like candy or something, I don't know. Whatever is gonna tempt y'all to really, I need some like bad blood, like, you can't do that.
Like,
Whatever.
so is the 5.3 meters, is that how high it is, like, or is that just a number? Because I feel like that's kind of low.
Don't, no, that one is not. That would be for the Barbie Bungee, like, that's at a different school. Don't worry about
Do we
that.
know the height, or is that?
I'll get the height.
Alright,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I was like, you have to do that.
I was like, we just literally have to guess.
Yeah, no, I will get, now mine might be the best guess I could get, but,
Okay.
so you might not take mine as like, you know, all encompassing perfect number, because I might not have a ruler that big. Okay. Sweet, okay, so, maybe I need to do some geometry to get the calculations, some angles and like Pythagorean theorem or something I can do. Okay, I'll work my magic.
He's good
Alright,
at tape measure.
here we go. So here is an important, the people at home are like, I don't even know what's happening right now. They probably already skipped through this whole thing, like he's just going on something else. Make sure to subscribe and like everybody. Y'all need to too. My subscribers have just stopped. Sad. Okay, explanatory and response. So what is the explanatory, what is the response variable? So, what are our 2 variables that we have here? Do we?
Bands and the distance traveled.
Yeah, we have rubber bands and we have the distance we went. So, anyone have a crack at a guess, or that you think you know, the explanatory and response?
The number of rubber bands impacts the distance or increases the distance.
Okay, yeah, so the number of rubber bands impacts, it basically is, yeah, impacting, predicting, it is changing the distance traveled. So yeah, I would say the explanatory would be the number of rubber bands would be the explanatory. Wow, the board's messed up right there. And then the response would be the distance traveled. So I almost kind of like that. What did you say, Alicia, again? What did you say? You said something. It was like.
I said multiple things and they were.
You said like maybe, was it like the number of rubber bands explains, or I can't remember. Impacts. Yeah, I kind of like that one. So you can kind of say that the explanatory, yeah, you can think about it like that. It impacts what the response is. I've kind of thought about it as the explanatory variable is something that we're using to kind of predict the other. So the explanatory is kind of like our prediction one. So I think this is either, must be a problem on the homework because I'm thinking about it, or maybe it's a quiz one. But like the explanatory is like the weight of the car, and the response is the gas mileage it has, the miles per gallon. So like a big heavy truck has low gas mileage. So explanatory and response. So these are kind of like your X and Y, basically. So one is helping us predict the other. So occasionally, that could be like a multiple choice on the AP. I think on the AP test, this whole unit would have like, I don't know, 5 or 6 multiple choice questions.
Is that a lot?
It's not quite it's not a ton. Like, let's do the percentage. It's 5% of the AP test. So it's not a huge value on the test, but there could be like 4 of the 40 multiple choice. So like if it is this question, like that would be almost like an easier one for us to get. But sometimes in statistics, y'all have seen stuff before, but then we don't really know what it means, and then we get those questions wrong on like my test or the AP test, just because we didn't really know what that part meant. Okay, so explanatory, yeah, it's impacting the response, it's predicting it, it's trying to gives us some information about the response. So yeah, we had 2 variables, and kind of going back to categorical or quantitative. So were those categorical or quantitative? Those were numbers that we're getting, like a certain number of rubber bands and a certain amount of inches traveled. So those would be quantitative. All right. So gonna go to Staplet again. Nice little thing. So you can do it on your phone if you want to, have it and keep messing around with it. I'm gonna go to it up here. So we're gonna go to Staplet, and looking around, I've got one quantitative single group, one quantitative multiple groups, and 2 quantitative variables. So yeah, we did one with the multiple groups when it was like a histogram or something like that. But these are the 2 quantitative variables. That's what we're wanting to click on. So let's see, I had number of rubber bands, distance. Let's see. So on this, you're putting, it says it up there, separated by commas. We're going to use this to get some information today, but we're going to use it any day we're doing a lesson. We're going to get a bunch of different stuff from this. So today we're just going to get like a scatter plot and some basic information, but we will get more and more. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. So let's see, I said 6, 16, 26. Then was it like 35? 45.
51, 62.
All right. Nice. Okay. So I begin analysis, and there's a beautiful scatter plot there. Okay. It's looking very nice. Okay, so you can copy that down, roughly what it looks like on number 3 on the notes. So this is our scatter plot.
It's linear.
It does appear to be so.
It's probably not.
I actually think it might be a fun twist. Instead of me trying to get the distance from the top of the rail down to the cafeteria, I think y'all, that should add another dynamic to this whole thing. Your group has to get your estimated height from the catwalk to the cafeteria floor. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Then it adds a whole nother dynamic. You know, I need some, you know, extra little stuff. If needed, we can do it. Y'all can go look at it Wednesday during our class period if we have time. I'll give you some time to where they can't bother you. I'll just walk out there with you. Okay, we got this copied down, or I'll give you a few more minutes. We got our scatter plot. Anytime you're doing a plot, please make sure, like a free response problem on the AP test, they're likely not to really ask you to draw something, but if they do, or if it's a multiple choice question, and they're like wanting you to look at the graph, please make sure to like label your axes and start from like the beginning down to the end. So please make sure to, you know, get your labels on there, or look at it on the multiple choice. That would be another one where it's like, that would be just we took the AP test and we got that wrong. That would be unfortunate. Okay. Sweet. All right. So let's describe the relationship displayed above, or in my picture. So let's describe what's going on here. And let me go back to even the last test was one of the free response problems was describe the, was it a histogram that it was? I think it was describe the histogram. And the way you should have described the histogram was with socks. Anytime that you have to tell me about a distribution of like a bar graph, stem plot, histogram, box plot, please, 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 I showed y'all that AP rubric. They want to see those 4 things plus context. So please make sure to do that anytime it's saying describe. In this case, we actually have a different type of little acronym we're going to use for these 2 quantitative variables. So because there is no, like there's shape, there's no center, and there's not really it would be weird to say spread. There kind of is a spread, but not really. So we don't quite use this. Instead, we're going to go through this one that might not make as much sense. DUFS dups. So the way I remember that, and these are just from the rubric, like they want you to talk about direction. They want you to talk about these things. So Duff's, if you've ever watched The Simpsons, it was like The Simpsons, that might be like too old of a show at this point. But it's like Duffman, Duff Gear,
yeah,
like one of the people.
Duff,
So like
yeah.
that's how I remember it. Also, there's a little picture on the back with socks, and there's one with Duffs. So if you forget, it's on the back wall as well. So let's go through them. The D is for, you need to talk about the direction of your scatter plot. So this is when I'm describing a scatter plot. How can I get full, complete answers?
So on a scatter plot, would you only use Duffs?
Yeah.
And then on the other one, you'd use
Other one use socks, yep. Yeah. So direction. So maybe I'm just gonna go through these things and then we can write an answer. Or you can always just like do this and say what each one is. But so direction, when I'm talking about that, would be like positive or negative direction. So what I mean by that, right, is positive, negative, or so positive, negative, or you've got like basically nothing, like no direction. So direction of your line. So thinking about that in context, as I increase in my x's, I increase in my y's. As I increase in my x's, I decrease in my y's. So this is a common one that I've seen. Like they'll say, this was a strong positive association between the rubber bands and the distance traveled. And so what that means is you could say, as I increase my rubber bands, I increase in distance traveled. That would be one of the multiple choice that you need to choose for that multiple choice question. Don't choose increase and decrease or whatever. I think that's pretty, oops. Unusual, I can't do it. That looks so weird with the big U. I couldn't write it from the second one. I think I ended up spelling it right. Unusual features. So you can think about this. Unusual features. These are like outliers, influential points, things that are just not right. They're like outside of our pattern. So unusual features. Basically outside of pattern. Something that looks, or if there's like clusters, anything. So if there's like different groups going on inside your scatter plot, like point out anything that doesn't look quite so normal. The F is for form. And this one's going to be pretty basic. This one is you are either linear or non-linear. The past couple years, they have started on the rubrics for AP, they have started talking more about non-linear data. Like before that, they never really did it. So we're going to hit on that a little bit.
Would non-linear be like a scatter plot, like where it's like all over the place?
Or it'd be
Or
like there's a curve pattern.
Oh.
Yeah, that'd be like quadratic, exponential, stuff like that. Okay, S is going to be strength. Strength. So strength, what did I write on the back? Strength is going to be, like how tightly grouped to that pattern are we? So how grouped together on the pattern are we, basically? So strength. How grouped together on pattern are we? Or is it, I guess, but I don't speak English, so it's okay. Are we? Is it? How grouped together on pattern already.
How would you describe that for a graph?
Okay, so yeah, let's just go through like what you could say for our distribution, right? So you just want to go through and you want to say context of what's going on here. So I want to talk about direction, unusual features, form, and strength. Maybe I need some room for myself. So what did I say? I just said, you could say, I don't know, we were pretty like very online there, like linear. It was just increasing up and it was positive. So I would say there was a strong, so this is like your strength. So it was pretty strong because if I had a line going through that data, it was like right through it. So it was a strong, positive, linear distribution between number of rubber bands and distance tiger travel. And then I'm going to say, I don't really think there were any unusual features. Like our graph was pretty just climbing up at a steady rate. Nothing was popping out at me. So I'm going to say, with no unusual features. And we're going to go through, in the unit, we'll get to different outliers, influential points, stuff like that. But right now, you just need to think about direction. So that was direction, unusual features, form, and strength. Right there. With context. So just going through an answer. So we have a strong, positive, linear distribution of those. I'm just trying to think of things that get tripped up. Another thing is like scatter plots are always, they're only quantitative data. Like you can't have categorical data in a scatter plot. Because it's supposed to be just strictly like rubber band and distance, dot. But if I have a category, those are going to be in certain spots. I don't want that. I want it to be free flowing on the x and the y axis. So these are quantitative with quantitative. Can't mix it. All right. So a strong, positive, linear distribution of rubber bands. Sweet. All right, so let's go through. Oh yeah, we can start moving here. I always think somehow we always go through more time. I guess that did take a little while at the beginning to talk about all the new stuff. All right, so the main things to hit on the back, our big ideas here are you're knowing the difference between explanatory versus response. So you can think about the response as like your outcome that you're looking for, like what's happening, and the explanatory is, it's almost like the variable that you're changing, right? It's like we were changing rubber bands to kind of predict the other thing. So yeah, so used to predict, it changes, like both of these things change, but I specifically was changing the number of rubber bands. to impact the other thing. Okay, and then the other main thing here is describing scatter plots. And I'll just say, talk about the do the dots, which we talked about on the front page.
Mr. Hanson needs to start the recording because it does the hours.
Wow. That's good.
My
That's
first
good.
time
You had
on
me.
the job. Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
You got me.
She
Okay.
wants that bonus.
Let's do yeah.
As
Yeah.
soon
Now
as I
that
heard
all of a
you were
sudden
paid,
all of a sudden I mentioned that, you know, you would get paid and it's like, oh yeah. Good. I do want to look at this here. Let's do but we have to make a scatter plot. How much time do we have? I always lose track.
Yeah, 45.
Gosh dang it. Okay. I just don't think scatter plots are worth that much compared to correlation. So the check your understanding, we could at least talk about explanatory and response. So what we have here are the number of sugar you have and the calories in these candies. So we could do this. Do you think about here, write an answer, which one is explanatory and which one is response. So just jot something down that you think. Which one's explanatory, which one's response. Okay, and hopefully, I think the thing that's really impacting the other, that's kind of predicting the other one, it wouldn't be calories are going for sugar, it's the amount of sugar that you add in your candy or whatever is going to make your calories go up or down. So the explanatory would be the sugar and the response would be the calories. Okay. They end up making a scatter plot, and it wasn't perfect, it had some outliers. So it would be like a positive, fairly strong linear pattern with a possible outlier at blank, like M&M, I think what it was. So you could just go through something like that for your distribution. So I said positive, strong, linear pattern. Yeah. So we're gonna get into like how do we talk about strength? Is it really strong, moderately strong, weak, whatever? Huh? You know it? Nice. Okay. Alethea said I had to stop my recording, so I listened to all-powerful Alethea. Where's my stop button? I always have to